What's up, guys? You're listening to Confessions of a Gym Rat, getting you through the 9 to 5 as healthily and happily as possible. I have a tiny bit of what do you want to call it? A common cold, a sore throat, a little stuffy nose. I think it's probably because I'm on airplanes a frequent amount, but I had a little cold this week. I had a dry cough for a while, which was I will take a stuffy nose or whatever, like a sinus infection, if you will, over a cough any day. Because, it's like if you got to listen to me sniffling, if I need to blow my nose, fine, I'll do that. But having to constantly cough hurts your head, hurts your stomach, keeps you up at night. I had a couple of those days where it was like I was waking up at however early in the morning and I couldn't fall back asleep because I was just, every breath I took, I had a cough. And then you're annoying the people around you. And ever since COVID, coughing in public has become such an embarrassing thing to cough in public. So we got that taken care of, thank goodness. Got a little Mucinex in the system. Took some cough medicine, and we're feeling good. We're feeling better. It's just I'm a little nasally, and that was a very long way to tell you that I sound a little stuffy today. But how are y'all doing on this Monday? By the way, if you liked my episode last week when I was with Tamara and we were kind of talking like co-hosty, let me know. I'm sure she would love to come back on. I can get her in person so the audio quality can be a little bit better. But I had fun doing that. I like talking to people instead of talking to myself. But yeah, that was my little tidbit on that. Anyway, can we address the elephant in the room, and the elephant in the room being Instagram threads? Okay, so I had gotten a text from my dad like earlier this week. I think it was on Tuesday. And he was like, be on the look for this new Instagram threads. It's going to be like Twitter, but Zuckerberg's version. And my first reaction was, there's no way that this is going to last. And to be honest, now that it's been settled in for a little bit, or a few days really, I still don't think it's going to last. I have Twitter. And I've been on Twitter for a very long time. And also, here's the problem. It's like we have something for short form videos, TikTok. We have something for words, Twitter. Who the hell knows what Facebook is for? But Facebook's there. And then Instagram is for pictures. We don't need any more social media platforms. Okay? We don't need it. Why? Essentially what Zuckerberg did was just created the exact same thing as Twitter. It even looks like Twitter. But it's an Instagram version. And the one thing I do have to say that I appreciate from him is that I didn't have to set up an account. Really, I didn't have to worry about who I was following and whatnot. I just linked it to my Instagram, and it was like, do you want to be following the same people you follow on Instagram? And I said, sure. Why wouldn't I? And that was that. But my phone is blowing up now. And I'm recording this on Thursday because I'm leaving this Friday to go back to LA. But my phone's been blowing up with notifications. And I'm looking on it, and it's just Twitter. But I personally feel obligated to use it because it is in this little metaverse and it's connected to Instagram. And Instagram's shady. Okay? They want you to act a certain way, and if you don't act it, they're going to punish your account. So if I'm not on Threads, it's probably going to take a toll on my Instagram, which already the exposure is not great. On there, let me know why only 3,000 people are seeing my workout posts. But so I feel obligated to be on this social media platform so I don't get penalized by Instagram. And I think that pretty much everybody is feeling or at least everybody, all the creators are feeling the same way. So it's like, wow, 2 million downloads in the first 24 hours because people don't want to get penalized, not because they think it's a great idea. Okay. What is my incentive for using Instagram or Instagram Threads over Twitter, which I've been on for years? Also, my Instagram is I post on my personal Instagram, I post pictures of my life. On my professional Instagram, I post workouts and workout videos and stuff. If I wanted to use Twitter for that, I would have already done it and I haven't. So I don't really know what I'm going to use this for. Maybe I'll just use it the same way that I use Twitter, and that is to tweet a lot of nonsense and just the thoughts that come to my mind. But I'm not really on board with the whole Threads thing. Just don't tell Zuckerberg that, because I don't want my account to suffer. We don't need another social media. We don't need another social media. And I like Twitter. Twitter is funny. Twitter's unhinged, okay? I don't need something else like that. Anyway, I hope you guys had a great 4th of July if you're in America and you celebrate. I honestly had such a great 4th of July. And I didn't do too much. So I went out Friday and Saturday. Friday I was out with the girls. Saturday I went to like a beach bar with one of my friends from high school and my cousin. And like I said, I kind of had a cold this weekend and I was coughing up a storm. Like people didn't want me out. And I was also, let me just adjust this microphone if I could figure out how to turn it. Hello. Also, if I break my nail one more time, guys, it's not going to be good, okay? Anyway, so, hello? Is that adjusted? Okay. Sorry you had to bear with me for that. I decided to stay in. That's where I was at. Decided to stay in Saturday night, Sunday, Monday. People were going, like it was one of those weeks where I had off, I had off Monday or Friday afternoon, because we do like the half day Fridays. So Friday afternoon, Saturday, Sunday, obviously, Monday and Tuesday. So people were going like full force, full 4-day weekend bender. Not me. And honestly, no regrets, because I went to the beach on Tuesday after staying in Monday night, just resting up. And let me tell you, it felt so nice to not be hungover on Tuesday and just to enjoy the day. It was lovely. And I got some sun. You can't really tell because I have the pink light in the back if you're watching on YouTube, but I did get a little sunburn. I didn't intend to, and I know that goes against my whole, my sunscreen and the whole rant I went on, but I did use sunscreen, okay? Also, why is this microphone just not working with me today? It just doesn't want to stay where I want it to stay. It wants to go in other directions. But I think I told you, okay, there we go, better. I think I told you guys, my best friend got me the Supergoop sunscreen for my birthday. So I've been using that on my face, and they have like a tinted one as well, but it's SPF 40. They have the unseen one, which is great for the face too, because it's clear. But that's what I've been using. I just, I fell asleep and I forgot to reapply, and it's my own fault, and I'll take ownership of it. Okay. So I did get a little toasted, but, honestly, maybe it's not the worst thing, because my face is always the first thing to lose its tan. Like it fades the quickest, but I look the best when my face is nice and sun-kissed. It just doesn't last. But you guys don't care about that. Anyway, so that was my 4th of July weekend. I also decided to just, spaz out a little bit, and I was like, I want a new bed and a new mattress. Okay, so I was like, I'm going to do this all on my own. I'm going to be a big girl. I can figure it out. I spent time, researching bed frames. What do I want? Like, what's the cheapest option? I ended up getting something with storage underneath, because your girl's got a lot of clothes and Not enough places to put them. By the way, check out my Poshmark. Thank you very much. Subtle plug. But anyway, so I picked out the bed frame, and I picked out my desk earlier this year from Wayfair because I hear all the Wayfair commercials. They've got Kelly Clarkson on. I thought, oh, Wayfair, cheap, probably similar to IKEA. No, don't order from Wayfair. The desk that I came was a piece of garbage. Okay, things came chipped, pieces came missing, garbage. Okay, so I was a little bit nervous, but I got something from Walmart because Walmart's trusty. Walmart's around the corner, so I could drop it off if I needed to return it, but it ended up being perfectly normal. Perfectly fine. I was like, I don't need a box spring, so I'm just gonna get a new mattress. I got a new duvet, the whole 9 yards. Excuse me while I cough really quick. I told you guys, got a little cold. So my dad's helping me, puts together the bed. Everything's perfect. I ordered the wrong size mattress. Okay? And not like for the wrong size bed, okay? I got a full mattress. That's what I needed. Made sure, triple, double checked on everything I was buying that it was for the right size bed because I didn't want to make a little oopsie. But I bought a 6-inch mattress, not really thinking about like the whole box spring thing. I don't know. I guess my whole life I really haven't been paying that much attention to how beds work. So I bought a 6-inch memory foam mattress, and I'm like, what's the big deal? This will be fine. It's a platform bed. I'm just like, spoiler alert, 6 inches is not very thick when you think about it. But I didn't think about it. I was just looking at the dollar signs and if it was for a full-size bed. So I'm waiting for a box spring to come. I ordered a box spring because honestly, I slept on the mattress last night and it was pretty damn comfortable. I was like, I don't want to return this baby. I like her. So I'm waiting for the box spring to come. It should be coming tomorrow. But for now, I am just really low to the ground. It felt like I was sleeping on a futon. I felt like I was having a sleepover in somebody else's living room last night, but it was just my bed. Okay, so I goofed. I'm going to admit it. Y'all can make fun of me because I'm going to make fun of myself. Listen, I tried baby steps. We're getting to adulthood. Slowly. At least I ordered it for a full. Okay, because I'm not going to embarrass my dad right now. You know what? I was going to tell a story. No, I am going to tell a story. My parents are laughing at me because they're like, oh my God, you bought the wrong size mattress. Like, this is so tiny. My dad bought a queen size box spring for a full size bed like a year ago. So I don't want to hear it from anyone. There's worse mistakes that have been made in the world, but I don't know. If it's unfortunate and it happens to me, I got to tell y'all about it. Otherwise, what was the point? I guess. Thinking of other things. Oh, what's a funny story for you guys? This has nothing to do with health or fitness, but just me, just Liz. I told you guys for the 4th of July, me and my two best friends went out on Friday night. And it's honestly really hard trying to get the three of us together because we're all in just different professions, and I'm traveling, and my friend Amy's a nurse, so her schedule's different, and it's really hard for the three of us to sync up, but we did. We had a lovely night out. We decided to call it quits decently early. It was like around midnight-ish. We get in the Uber, called the Uber, and my other friend Lauren's like, oh, let's order food because we're all so hungry, like we haven't eaten in hours. Let's order food when we get back to Amy's. So I'm thinking in my head immediately, I need a Wawa sub. And if you aren't from New Jersey, which most of you probably are not, so we have these stores and they're called Wawa, like the bird. And they're basically a glorified convenience store. So you can get what you get in like a 7-Eleven or something like that, but amazing subs, great coffee. You can get gas. It's one of those types of places, like a Quick Check. If you guys have Quick Checks around you, it's kind of like that. So in my head, I'm thinking it's hoagie fest. I need myself a sub. So I'm like to Lauren, I'm like, what do you have in mind? And she's like, Wawa. And I'm like, perfect. So we let her order on her phone. She's asking us what I want. I'm like, I want a sub. I want a sub. I ask about 5 times. She gets me my sub or whatever. And she's like, Amy, what do you want? And Amy's like, I want chicken tenders. And Lauren's like, okay, do you want apples or cheese stick with that? And Amy's like, what? And she's like, apples or cheese sticks, you get a side. And Amy's like, oh, okay, apples. And Lauren's like, no, you picked the worst one. No, you're getting a cheese stick. So Amy's like, okay, whatever. So we get back to Amy's house. We're sitting, we're goofing off, we're waiting for this food to come. It finally comes. We're starving. I open up my sandwich and it's this big. Okay? I ordered a junior, which is supposed to be like a 6-inch sub. This was a chode sub. I had a chode of a sub. I wish I took a picture of it. This thing was so chode-like. I almost didn't want to eat it, but I was so goddamn hungry that I did. So whatever, I'm scarfing my stuff down. And Lauren pulls out this Happy Meal looking box and hands it over to Amy. And he's like, here's your chicken tenders. And Amy's like, what the hell is this? And Lauren's like, oh, I got you the kids' meal. And Amy's like, why? And she's like, because it was the only option. And we're like, something tells me they sell chicken tenders by the reg size. So that explains the chocolate milk and the mozzarella cheese stick that came with it. But poor Amy opens up this kids' meal box and it comes with 2 singular chicken tenders. And honestly, breading is missing off of big chunks of both of them, and it just looks slimy, soggy. Not what you want to see when you come back from the bar and you're starving at 1:00 in the morning. So I think Lauren's meal was good. She had mac and cheese and a chicken sandwich. Mine was chode-like, but it was delicious. And that was that. Poor Amy had 2 disformed, soggy kids' meal chicken tenders. Yuckity, yuck. But that was, yeah, I don't know. I was at 1:00 in the morning. This was the funniest thing. Now that I'm repeating it, I'm like, is it really that funny? But at 1:00 in the morning, when I was like famished, Amy opening up those 2 chicken tenders was like the funniest thing on earth to me. Like just the funniest thing. Just scrape that. Anyway, that's basically that. We have no interview this week because y'all know how the cookie crumbles, but I'm going to go over a super interesting, at least in my opinion, topic that everyone could stand to listen to. Mic drop. But before that, we're going to do our thing and get into some weekly highlights. I'm realizing now that I really got to stop slouching when I'm recording myself for YouTube because it's not a pretty look. It's not very cute, Liz. But anyway, let's get into some highlights for the week. My health and fitness related highlight, honestly, is the fact that I did a at-home hamstring and glute workout. Doesn't happen very often, throwback to the COVID days. And I kicked my own ass. Honestly, I did. So I was, like I said, I was at the beach on Tuesday, 4th of July. And it just totally, in my own world, the gym's always open, like la-di-da, centered around that. I saw my gym's Instagram story and was like, oh shit, they close at 5 p.m. because it's a holiday. Like, duh. So I'm like, well, there's no way I'm getting there to start and finish a workout before 5 o'clock. I want to be on the beach. I want to enjoy my tan. I have some weights and like a little mini barbell that I used during COVID and stuff. And I was like, you know what? I was going to hit quads today, but I'll hit hamstrings instead. Quads is a little bit hard for me. I need some heavier weight. I wanted to use things like the pendulum squat and the leg extension this week. But hamstrings, I was like, I could work around this. So I just did a really simple workout. I did RDLs, simple enough. I did sumo squats, not back squats though. I just like held the barbell in front of me. I did wide stance reverse lunges. And then I did a hamstring curl using a skateboard. So I put my heels on the skateboard and I rolled out and back in a glute bridge position. And it was really good for the hamstrings. And then I did like a dumbbell glute bridge and like hip hinge too. So I used appropriate weights, maybe setup and stuff took me a little bit longer than normal. But I woke up the next day and my hamstrings were toasted. They were feeling nice and tight. And I was like, you know what? Good for you, Liz. Even if you were at home, you didn't have the same stuff that you would have if you were in the gym. Wasn't an excuse not to push yourself, not to get the most bang for your buck. And I had a good workout and a full day at the beach. How perfect. How perfect is that? And that leads me right into my non-health and fitness related highlight. And that is that I got a perfect beach day in. Perfect beach day. Ooh, which reminds me, before I forget, before we move on. So I started reading Matthew Perry's memoir. Very good. I mean, I assume that most celebrities that write memoirs have a ghostwriter just because you're not an author for a reason. But it's pretty good. I'm reading it like in his tone of voice, like kind of like how Chandler talks. And it's funny but tragic at the same time. I would recommend reading it. I finished The Silent Patient. So first I read The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. Would recommend. Great book. Flew through it. Very interesting story. And then I read The Silent Patient because everyone's like, oh, this book is so good. My therapist was like, ooh, it's a little like dark and twisty. I'm not going to read it because it was like in her field of work. But I was like, I'll read it. I like dark and twisty, said Meredith Grey. Anyway, so I read it, and the beginning, I was like, okay, I think I could get into this. In the middle, I'm like, okay, I don't really care for the main character, which is kind of a problem, but I'm going to finish it out. Terrible ending to a book. So stupid. It sounds like this author spent a lot of time writing it and then got to the end and was like, oh, I don't want to finish it. What can I do? Overall, 4 out of 10, wouldn't recommend reading it. Don't understand why everybody's hyping it up. Maybe it's because y'all don't read a lot of books or something. But I didn't like it. I thought it was a waste of time. And actually, Amy texted me like the next day and was like, I have been reading my book for 3 weeks and I don't want to finish it, but I'm not a quitter. This book sucks. And I was like, what book? And she was like, The Silent Patient. And I was like, funny you say that because I finished it last night. And let me tell you, you're wasting your time. There are better books out there. Silent Patient, shit end. Sorry. That's it. But anyway, back to my highlight. Yeah, I got a nice day on the beach. I was reading. I spent time with my cousin. The water was freaking cold and I tried to go in, but I bitched out. Hand up. Maybe next month. But that's it. So as always, I encourage you guys to spend just like a minute or two just thinking about 2 things that were good that happened this week. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. You could be doing RDLs in your garage, but there's always something that's good that happened, even in the darkest, yuckiest times. There's always one little thing. Okay, so this is a topic that I should have talked about a while ago with you guys. It's something I feel very, very passionately about, especially if you've been listening to this podcast. Listen, I'm gonna preface this by saying I think that feeling comfortable in your skin is super, super important, and a big reason why I got into weightlifting was because I did not like the way I look, and I'm very into it now. And I think it's very cool building muscle and seeing how my body changes. But that's not the only reason why you should exercise. Okay? So I'm going over 10 reasons why you should exercise on a regular basis that you may not have thought of before, or you might not be. And some of them you may know, but you're just turning a blind eye. And I'm here to remind you, hello, these things exist. These reasons exist. Get your lazy butt out of your chair. Okay? So number one, I wrote them all down. Exercising can help ease anxiety and panic. And then also that can kind of trickle into better sleep because you're reducing anxiety and panic. Literally yesterday, this is a true testimonial, guys. So you guys know that I have pretty bad anxiety, but I also get panic attacks. The way that I could tell the difference between a panic attack and an anxiety attack, my anxiety attacks are often triggered by something that happened. Okay, and it's also often followed by a string of intrusive thoughts. Panic attacks hit me out of nowhere. And those are the ones I feel like the best way to describe it is like there's a little tiny rat running around in my chest, just stirring things up in there. So I was on my way to the gym yesterday. It was maybe 2 minutes after I left my driveway. And I start to get that feeling. And I'm like, am I having a panic attack right now? And then a few minutes pass and I'm like, oh, I sure am. Can't breathe. Chest is all tight. I get that little feeling in my chest. And I'm like, okay, nothing's wrong. We don't need to make ourselves panic more about this. We don't have to get upset over it. You're in a good mood. You're having a good day. Once you get to the gym, everything's going to be okay. So I get to the gym, I'm trying to breathe or whatever, and started my workout. Couldn't even tell you when the feeling went away, but I can tell you that I got back in the car and it wasn't there anymore. Just the physical exertion and that like just makes the anxiety and panic go away. Okay? Like I have meds for it. I didn't have the meds with me, but I also went to the gym, exercised, my panic attack passed. And it was gone. So if you're somebody that suffers from anxiety and panic, the gym has always been such a reliable place for me. It's such a good way to put my energy into something that will benefit me in the long run. So that's reason number one. Reason number two, heart health. Hello. I've told you guys this before. You don't have to do cardio for the sole purpose of trying to lose weight. Okay? I've told you guys that I do cardio basically most days, every time of the year. Bulking, cutting, maintenance, doesn't matter. When I'm bulking, I'm not doing high intensity cardio. I'm not like pushing it, no hands level 10 on the Stairmaster, but I'm at least getting a walk in and my steps in every day. And it's not with the goal. I mean, when I'm cutting, I increase the intensity because it is with the goal to burn more calories. But my main purpose for doing cardio is so I have a healthy heart. Cardiovascular activity exercises the cardiac muscles. This is not new information for you guys, but it's nice to remind people every once in a while, like it is hard. Listen, heart attacks can attack the healthy. Okay? They can, but if I can reduce my risk, I'm going to try because I don't want to be that girl that's 60 years old, living like a fat slob, and I get a heart attack and almost die from it. And that's what it takes for me to be like, oh shit, I should have been taking care of my heart. Okay? So that's reason number two. Number three, and this is kind of one of the reasons why I started as well. It's just you're going to be able to keep on performing daily tasks and performing simple tasks, especially with age. When I first started going to the gym, there were there were three main reasons. One, hated the way I looked, wanted to improve it. Two, I was severely depressed and would do anything to get out of my house, and that was a place to go. Three, I used to work at this restaurant where I had to carry a case of water, like a 24-pack, from the back office all the way to the front of the restaurant to the fridge. And it took a lot out of me. It was heavy. And I was like, Liz, this is pathetic. You need to be able to carry a case of water. God forbid, like I plan on one day having children. I'd like to be able to hold my child without being tired or struggling to get the child up. You know, as a mother, I want to be able to protect my child and feel physically able to do so. God forbid, you know, hopefully it never comes to that. But exercising and resistance training especially will help those everyday tasks just become feasible. You know, and especially as we get older and our muscle starts to deteriorate, this is a super important thing. You know, I love my mother so much, but I used to, like, one of us would have to come with her to like Sam's Club to put the water in the cart because she couldn't do it, the cases of water. And I was like, I want to be able, like, I want to be able to do that. And I want to be able to do that for a long time. So that's reason number 3. Whew, I'm getting tired of talking here. Reason number 4, happiness, endorphins. Okay? Helps, you know, it's endorphins are released when we exercise. This is scientifically proven. And endorphins help us feel happy, that feeling of happiness. The two are directly linked. You know, and I honestly, even without the endorphins, I think that leaving a gym or a run or a kickboxing class or whatever, I'm always happy because I'm like, I just freaking did that. And I just did that for myself. And I'm a little bit better because I did that. So you guys probably know at this point, I mean, it's not new news. We've been told this forever, that endorphins are released when we exercise. But if you're one of those woe is me type of people, or life is beating the living hell out of you, go for a run. Go for a walk. Release some endorphins. It's not going to fix your problems. It's not going to fix what's going on at home or in school or at work, but it's something you can manage. And I think that that's pretty cool. So that's reason number 4. Kind of links to reason number 5. Exercise helps fight depression. Hand up, living example. Will it cure depression? Always? No. Okay. The last time I was going through a serious phase of depression, I was exercising every day. I didn't miss workouts. Wasn't fixing it. Have to be medicated. LOL. But I would definitely have been worse off. Like, I don't even want to think about what today would look like for me if I didn't have exercise. So exercise increases brain sensitivity to serotonin and, let me try and pronounce this right, norepinephrine? I don't know. And those feelings help, you know, serotonin, again, endorphins, serotonin, kind of same thing, happiness. So those two kind of go linked in hand. The happiness thing is kind of like a temporary, like, whoo, feel good, boost of energy. Depression's more of a long-term, like, this is something you can control, and depression often feels like you cannot control anything, nor do you want to. You just want to sit there like a blob. This is something you have control of. And thank God it was there for me, and it always will be. That's the thing. Unless you're physically handicapped, which I really, really hope you're not, and if you are, I'm very sorry. It'll always be there for you. Number 6, helps to reduce pain. You know, I want to talk a little bit about knees here. I get a lot of clients that, you know, will be squatting. They're like, oh, I can't squat today because it hurts my knees. And I'm like, are you 40-something, 50-something years old with tendonitis? No. Building muscles will help take pressure off of other tendons and joints and stuff like that. So whenever I have a client that has knee pain, and I had to go through this myself. Little backstory, when I grew up, my kneecaps grew off track, so I was getting severe, like, knee pain. By the way, my parents didn't believe me for a while, and then turns out I was right. I ain't no bitch. Anyway, so I went to physical therapy, and they were like, we're going to build the quadricep muscle, because the more muscle you have on your quad, the less pressure is going to fall down onto your knees. So if you're having knee pain, try doing some quad work, some leg extensions. Really focus on building that quadricep muscle. Okay, maybe that's not the issue. You know, it might be something else, but that's a start. And that is reason number 6. Reason number 7, helps boost your brain health. Exercise has been proven, and I don't have exact facts and citations up, but you could, listen, I'm not an encyclopedia. Google it, okay? Okay? It helps reduce your odds of getting brain-related diseases like Alzheimer's and dementia. And I don't know if y'all seen The Notebook or Grey's Anatomy, but I'm not trying to have either of those. Okay? Also puzzles. Do puzzles, guys. I love puzzles. Not to be a huge nerd, but I do. Okay? Sue me. Number 8, improves your skin. Listen, you guys know that I deal with cystic acne. Not fun. But actually, when you exercise and you sweat, your pores open up. And as long as you're taking a shower afterwards and not being a grody little human being, as long as you take a shower afterwards, you're actually getting the chance to open up those pores and clean them out. So great for your skin, sweat, as long as you clean yourself off well enough after. Hand in hand, okay? I don't want y'all to sweat and then just sit there being stinky. No. Anyway, number 9, longevity. Exercise has been proven to, or consistent exercise has been proven to reduce your risk of getting chronic illnesses like cancer, heart disease. We talked about the whole heart thing before with the cardio. Again, I don't have exact citations. You can find a million. This should not be new news to you guys. But, I want to talk about a little bit, like when COVID was going around, we were hearing a lot of wash your hands, wear a mask, don't touch people. But I wasn't hearing a lot of exercise. Exercise to make yourself a healthier human being. So God forbid you do get a sickness, your body's able to bounce back from it quicker. Your body's more prepared for it. Listen, wash your hands by all means, Like all those cleanliness things that we learned during COVID should not go away. But where's the, exercise? Hello? Survival of the fittest. Harsh, but true, okay? And last but not least, I think that exercise is a great way to help develop your relationship with yourself, okay? And I know I said that these were 10 reasons besides physique to exercise, but this is more of not just, to build muscle and stuff, but if you're somebody who struggles with your self-esteem and whatnot, exercise is a great way to take control of what you don't like physically about yourself and change it. So I kind of cheated a little bit on the last one, but I did a little spin on it. So it's not exactly like, oh, because I want to look hot in a bikini, but it's like, no. So you could actually look in the mirror and say, like, I don't hate myself. I am beautiful. I am good looking. I am strong, and I am healthy. And I hope you all get to that point, because for a while, I really was not there. And I still have my bad days. But for the most part, I could really say that I'm proud of the person that I am, and I'm comfortable in my own skin. Well, guys, that pretty much wraps up this week's episode of Confessions of a Gym Rat. Stay tuned next week for an interview episode. Make sure that you're subscribing on YouTube so you can see my beautiful face as I'm talking here, okay? If you can get that hint of sarcasm. But seriously, subscribe on YouTube at Lifts with Liz. Make sure to give this podcast a rating, especially if you're on Apple Podcasts, please. Follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Lifts with Liz, and follow the podcast on Instagram at Confessions of a Gym Rat. Love y'all. Have a happy, healthy week. And if I can't get you to get your butt up and exercise at least once this week after this episode, I don't know what will. So make me proud and get up and get a session in.